This is Arthur Shopper for VesselNews.io. You can follow me at Arthur C. Shopper on Twitter. But we want to talk about this guy. His name is Antonio Foreman, hardcore Trump supporter. Proud Boy, is that correct?
I'm not Proud Boys, but I support the Proud Boys. I
Excellent.
love the Proud Boys. Got Steve Taylor and all those guys are great. But yeah, I've been working with Big Alaska since December, and been going to rallies and helping with security at events, and yeah, been supporting the conservative movement for this past year, just doing as much security as possible.
Excellent. So tell me, were you a Trump supporter at the outset?
When? Towards the beginning?
Yeah, when the election started
When the election started, I was pretty apolitical. I made my decision, but I was very anti-Hillary Clinton, just because of my family's support for Bill Clinton back in the day, and then hearing stories about their regret towards that, I said, you know, why are we going to go ahead and do this a second time? And then even worse issues were going to arise on top of that. And then I started, moved in with an accountant. So I moved in with an accountant, and he red-pilled me on the economy. And
I'm sure he would.
To be a conservative, and I got really red-pilled from that.
We're going to go inside.
So he red-pilled me on the economy, and got me, you know, understanding conservative values better. And then I kind of fell in love with Trump, and really supported him.
Awesome.
Moved out.
Nice shutter shot right there. All right, let's go inside. We're gonna crash before they can stop us. You just need a little more quiet, as you can imagine. Why don't you, yeah, just have it. Let's, yeah, right over here, my man. Have a seat. Perfect. Yeah, right there. We got Trump, and Trump we trust. So you got red-pilled by the accountant.
Yes.
There's something about accountants and numbers, you know?
Yeah, numbers and just understanding like how people spend money. And really, what he really red-pilled me on was healthcare, and what Obamacare really costs a company to run and keep their employees on healthcare. And he watched certain companies go down the drain because of Obamacare, and tried to support that with full-time wages.
We got a shout out right here. Antonio, you look amazing. So glad to see you. God bless you, Antonio. Now, you've been in the LA Times. You were featured in Gateway Pundit, but it was for a more sordid reason, or a very tragic reason. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so I was at a Trump event in Santa Monica. I was with Kyle Chapman, aka Base Stick Man. And we left that event to go have some dinner and drinks afterwards. And when I got to the parking lot, I was by myself, and two gentlemen were harassing a lady. And just from my bodyguard experience and many years in private security, I intervened. And I decided...
And I want to stop right there. You were in a parking structure?
Yeah, and I was pulling up to the kiosk where you pay.
Okay.
And the pay was either you pay with a credit card or you pay cash at a machine. Of course, they're getting rid of humans. And they saw a maintenance lady, and they called her over and started harassing her and threatening her to open up the gate. And that's when I intervened from my car. I rolled down my window, told them, as Robert Herrera would say, pay your ticket and keep it moving, pretty much in better words. And there was some cursing going on, and some back and forth argument. And then they said, shut up, white boy, you don't know anything, get out of here before you get yourself hurt. And at that point, I just kind of said, okay, and I put my ticket into the kiosk. My gate went up, theirs didn't. They got so triggered from my Molon Labe and USA stickers and stuff.
This was on your car,
or
your truck?
On the back of the truck. They just saw that. I could see their face get very triggered, and they crashed through the kiosk, destroying a huge structure, breaking through the gate, and they ended up hitting my truck. So once they hit my truck, I tried to tell them to pull over. They wouldn't pull over, so I blocked them. And I got out with my phone to grab their license plate, and I said, what's your problem? And they both hopped out, and at that point, they both rushed me at a full run with knives. They tackled me.
Oh my God.
I fought the one guy on the ground. I knocked one guy kind of back, and then he kind of got himself together, and he's the guy who stabbed most of my right side, where I received most of the damage.
So without having to show us too much, point to where you were stabbed.
So I got stabbed here on the side. I got big stab here. and then a stab here, here by my ribs, and then above my lung.
Oh, God.
And then 3 on my stomach, and then I have one behind my shoulder. That one actually I can kind of show.
That one, okay. You don't have to go to too much trouble.
You see that?
Guys, look at this. Damn.
And then I got one like that on my right here by my collarbone.
So reports were telling me you blacked out.
Yeah, so I mean, the only time that I remember blacking out was when I was being taken out of the ambulance and being brought into ICU.
Okay.
That was all kind of a blur. There was a lot of people yelling, a lot of doctors. I got, put onto a surgery table, getting clothes ripped off of me. A lot of it was a blur, and I think I was very heavily medicated at that point by the firefighters.
Okay.
Getting
Who called 911?
So I was on the ground, and a gentleman came up out of nowhere and picked me up with one arm. I mean, I was bleeding out.
Oh,
so, I
God.
mean, for him to be willing to risk that, with that much blood, picked me up, brought me over to the sidewalk out of the street, laid me down, and started yelling at all the people who were filming to call 911. So it was a bystander who must have, got on the phone. And luckily I was blocks away from the Santa Monica Police Department. They actually came on foot from the police department. They came running. I could hear them running. They shut down the street, then the fire department got there within 10 minutes. And
Wonderful.
I was off to UCLA from there.
Okay.
UCLA saved my life. I keep saying that in all my streams to all the doctors and stuff because they all know my story now and they know my name.
Yes.
And they honestly saved my life because the phone call my parents received was I was going to have about a 25% chance of living.
Oh, wow.
And,
Never speak up.
And so they told me I had about a 25% chance of living. They told my parents that, and they saved me. They repaired my diaphragm.
So let me get this straight. You didn't get They didn't stab you in the lung, but they hit you in...
So
oh,
it
wow.
hit my lung, the lining of my lung.
Oh,
so
Lord.
it caused it 2 days later to collapse. That's why I had chest tubes put in. And
Oh,
that sucks
my
out
God.
the air. I had a pneumothorax that collapsed my lung, and that's when you get stabbed, air from the outside goes in.
Oh,
and
no.
it gets caught in places in your body.
Oh,
So,
Lord. So you were in intense pain, is that right?
Yeah, for the first 5-6 days, I would say it was probably the most intense pain I've been through. And I played hockey for 4 years in college. I mean, I was kind of a rough, tough guy.
Yeah.
And This was real pain. This was inside and out, mental, everything.
So the police, they got the two thugs who attacked you.
Yeah, so
how were they able to do it? It sounds like they would have gotten away.
They got him within 20 minutes because the guy who tackled me first actually fell on his own knife and sliced his jaw and went to UCLA to play victim as if I had attacked them.
Ah.
And he's getting stitches, and the cops walked in and said, we got footage from the parking structure of you getting out of your car with two knives. And this is a guy who carries. I wasn't carrying that night because I was out drinking with Kyle Chapman. In the law states, you can't carry if you've been drinking.
You mean like a firearm?
Firearm. And
You have a CCW?
Yes, I have a CCW.
Okay.
And so that night, I wasn't carrying. I got out of my car with no weapons, no nothing. I got out to have a verbal confrontation, and they got out with weapons immediately. And they had the full intent to stab me. What I was kind of surprised is when you have two friends, usually you have one more reasonable friend that's going to be like, hey, chill out, it's not worth it. But both guys were drugged up and drinking so much that they both made the decision.
Tell
to
me about
stab
these two thugs.
Well, from what we know, they're Turkish-Armenian background. And their last names, family all came from that area. They have a podcast that's got about 13,000 downloads. Armenian One podcast, so you can go give them a negative review if you'd like.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
That's the way to start striking back, people.
And they have opened a lot of corporations in the past couple of years, and then closed them out, opened them up. It's a very shady kind of family. We don't know much. I'm not going to sue them. I just want them to get the book thrown at them.
And I understand they're held without bail, or?
Yeah, they had $1 million bail, but I don't think they could afford to pay it.
Okay. So good. You'll be safe. Everybody else will be safe. Now, how long? So now tell us. There was a very interesting event here. A lot of people wanted to come and see you.
Yeah.
But there was something that very disturbing that happened the first day, kind of.
Yeah. Well, Baked Alaska tweeted out that I was at the hospital and what had happened to me. And then it got picked up by all his friends, Cernovich and Posobiec and InfoWars, and I got calls from Joe Biggs and other people. And what happened was I got a rush of beautiful, amazing patriots from our movement here in LA that all came to the hospital. I'm talking 70 to 100 people came the first day.
Into the room and in and out,
in and out. And Omar, I couldn't remember it. And so I told Bate, I just got so overwhelmed, my mental state, I kind of shut down. And so I told him, until I've recovered, I'm going to just have my roommate and a couple hockey buddies come and stay by my side. Because they were the only family I had at the time. My family lives on the East Coast.
Where are you from originally?
Well, here, Agora, but my family moved to the East Coast because the hospice care for my grandparents was cheaper in Pennsylvania.
How about that?
Yeah, California, it's too expensive to... Yeah, and so my mother couldn't fly because of health reasons, so I still haven't even seen my mom yet since it happened.
Well, Mom, say hi to Antonio right here.
Definitely.
She's online. We'll make sure she gets this.
And so that happened, and Baked called everybody, and they all came. They signed a beautiful board, and but then I just tried to recover for about a week.
Got to heal.
Get up, and I felt embarrassed. I'm the security, I'm the bodyguard, I'm the guy who comes to these events to keep people secure. The last thing I want them to see me is, you know, in this immense pain. I can barely move, and it was I wouldn't say embarrassing, but it's more like a pride, you know. I'm a strong guy. I'm here to, you know, help and protect, and I want to always have that feeling, you know, that pride that I'm the big strong guy, and I felt defeated that week.
Do you know how many people tweeted and wrote about and recorded?
It was amazing. It was thousands of messages I got. I couldn't even get to them. They were overwhelming. They overwhelmed to the point where I couldn't open my Facebook mobilely. It was just kept shutting down.
Did you know Paul Joseph Watson reported on you?
Yes, Paul Joseph Watson. I got calls from people. President Trump sent me a bumper sticker and said, "Get well soon."
He sent you something.
With it signed.
Who reported on your state to the president?
The campaign people from California. I can't really say who. They reached out to him, and within the first day, they came and privately visited with me. And with the president. I think it was the president of UCLA Republicans that reached out to the campaign people, and the campaign people came to my hospital bed and brought me that. It brought me to tears. It was amazing. That is amazing.
Yeah. Do you have any of his articles with you, or he
no,
gave you
I Baked actually has them at his house. I'm gonna get them framed out, take a picture of them and stuff.
That would be great. Everyone should see that. I want you to think about that. Let me go selfie with you really quick. I want you to think about that's the kind of president we have. Okay, he's about making America great again, and he cares for his supporters. I don't know of any other Republican in my lifetime who would reach out like that in such a dear fashion for our good friend right here. He survived. He's thriving. He's back on duty, guys. I want you to see that. You know, he's fighting the fight to make America great again, to make California great again. Let me get back on you. So tell me, do you still need like financial aid, help, or anything?
So the researcher that we set up first helped really cover all of the medical expenses. The 2 days I was in the hospital without medical insurance. But then my father was able to figure out Blue Shield and help me get some coverage. So yeah. But it was a fight, and it was tough. It was really hard because emergency Medicaid, California emergency Medicaid, covered it because it was a trauma and it was a victim. So I had some other things that helped. But there was about 2 days there, and that was when I had a surgery. I had like very expensive days.
How many surgeries did you have?
I had, well, technically one big surgery that first night.
And
then I count these two as surgeries. It was a chest tube into the ribs, and then a chest tube where they take a big rod and put it into your chest while you're awake. And
you have to be awake for that?
Yeah.
Did it hurt?
No, because they numb you.
Okay, you're numbed.
You're numb.
So you get to see a pipe going in your chest, and you're awake for it.
Like there is I wouldn't say it's a pain, but it's a pressure. The pressure.
Wow, man.
So 3 total.
You got stabbed 10 times. No, I'm kidding.
Well, actually, a lot of people don't know this, but I was actually stabbed a year and a half ago through the kneecap.
Oh, man.
And I was taking down a home intruder that was robbing my neighbor's house. I came home at about 3 in the morning. So I've had my fair share of
You're a bodyguard with a capital B.
Yeah.
That's what you are.
Yeah, thank you.
And you're still doing the job. And now you're helping Omar's event here.
Yeah, just keeping an eye on things.
Okay.
Who shouldn't
Uh-oh.
be here.
Well, you know what? Then maybe I better... So let me... I better let you get back to work here. So, guys, this is Antonio right here, Making America Great Again from Agoura Hills.
Yes, and if anybody from Cudahy is watching, we still have you on our radar.
We haven't forgotten about you.
The fingers are coming. The fingers are coming.
The finger of shame.
And Oxnard. Arthur's coming for you.
Oh, yeah.
That's my territory.
We
so
shut down the sanctuary city there.
Yep.
We're shutting down others everywhere we go. You know, this is our country. I was in, I'll just brag, I was in Sacramento Bee today saying this is Trump territory, even in Kevin De Leon's office. Everywhere you go is Trump territory, too. No question about it. All right, this is Arthur Shopper for Vessel News. I got to let this guy get back to work, and I got to let him party a little, all right? So I'll talk to you guys in a little bit.